The Canadian commercial real estate market has held up relatively well during the global credit crisis and economic slowdown. Joining me today via video conference from Toronto is Real Property Association of Canada CEO Michael Brooks. From a fundamental standpoint, what is your outlook for the Canadian commercial real estate market for the remainder of 2010?
I think fundamentals in Canada will remain relatively flat for 2010. In most of the asset classes, there's very little pricing power that landlords have. Office markets would vary depending on what part of the country you're in. Retail markets would probably be strong since we've had a rebound in consumer spending. Industrial markets would be flat. Apartment markets would be flat coast to coast.
And given the current climate, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Canadian real estate companies?
I think one of the biggest challenges, and it's an unusual challenge, is idle cash and the difficulty in finding accretive purchases. Almost all of the REITs were successful in raising equity in the last 1 year period, and indeed debt markets are quite strong in Canada, so debt is generally available on property purchases. Having said that, there's not a lot to buy in a lot of the asset classes that can be accretive and that make sense for Canadian REITs. So Canadian REITs are struggling to find growth and to make accretive purchases.
And how would you describe the M&A environment in Canada? Are there a lot of opportunities for buyers right now?
I would say the M&A market in Canada right now is relatively flat, and I expect it to be quiet for the next 12 to 24 months. With many REITs now trading above net asset value, the incentive just isn't there for someone to take a REIT private. Having said that, there may be some merger opportunities where some of the larger REITs look at some of the smaller REITs and take them over. We'll see how that unfolds in the next 24 months.
We're starting to see the IPO market for new REITs warming up. How big of an impact do you think this will have on the Canadian market going forward?
We have 4 IPOs of new REITs in Canada right now. This has been seen as very positive by the industry because it reflects new money wanting to get into public real estate, and it reflects the success of the REIT vehicle in Canada. So we're hoping that there are more IPOs that I don't know about in the corporate boardrooms in Canada, and we're hoping this is a positive sign for Canada going forward.
And what's the driving force behind this wave of public activity?
I think there's a few things driving the wave. First of all, with many REITs trading above net asset value, there's a bit of a premium to be in the public markets, so that's attractive for investors. I would also say that public real estate showed how well it did through the recession, its resiliency, and so more and more buyers and investors see REITs as a very durable investment vehicle going forward.
Thank you, Michael. For REIT.com, I'm Matt Bishar.